Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 7 of the College Football Locker Room. It is myself, Taylor Lewan, Will Compton, the commissioner himself, Josh Pate. We'll get to the records in a second. Today, we're talking a couple of games. You're talking about BYU, Utah, Big 12 matchup, LSU at Vandy, USC at Notre Dame, Ole Miss at Georgia, and our true classic game of the week will be Tennessee at Alabama. Now, every week we go through the records, what's happened. Let's pull the Band-Aid off real quick. Boom, I went 0-5. Let that sink in for a second. Put a pumpkin in the chat. That one sucks. Josh Pate, 2-3. I know he's not proud of that. And then Bald Willie C goes 4-1. Does he keep the hair? Does he not keep the hair? All those answers will be given to you on the show. Leaving our record, everyone is at 18-19. This week, we'll see who the new front runner is. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Let's have a hell of a show. Welcome to the Locker Room, College Football Saturdays, a special day for the boys, because that's when we like to use our Bussin With The Boys Profit Boost token.
Guys, welcome to the show. This is the Locker Room. Shout out to you guys first. We're up over 700% year over year on subscribers. And this show, as always, is presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook, the number one sportsbook in America. And before we get into things, we just want to remind you guys that gambling is for entertainment, and FanDuel always has your back with tons of responsible gaming tools to make sure your play stays fun and stress-free. Check out FanDuel.com/RG or the responsible gaming section in the app to learn more about staying in control of your game.
College Football Saturdays, a special day for the boys, because that's when we like to use our Booster With The Boys Profit Boost token.
Every week, FanDuel gives everybody a Profit Boost token to use on any college football Saturday bet. And every week, someone puts together a bet that's just a little bit better than everybody else's. Let's check out the one from the Parlay winner card. Do you have the card? Do you want me to read the card?
I have the card. You don't have the card?
I have the card, and it says plus 194,302 odds.
Pretty
$6. $6 to win at 11,664. With picks, Toledo at Bowling Green, Houston at Oklahoma. They took the over on Toledo Bowling Green, the over on Houston Oklahoma State, and they took the under in 9 different games. Miami at Akron, UCLA at Michigan State, Stanford, SMU, Louisiana, JMU, Alabama, Missouri, Washington State, Ole Miss, UCF, Cincinnati, Charlotte Army, Ohio State, Illinois. That's crazy.
It's nuts. Every week we get one of these cards, and FanDuel's like, look what this person did. And I'm thinking, at what point can we be that person?
6 to win 11,000 plus. I see several of these games, like Bama, Missouri, total was 51.5. It hit 51.
Right.
So you're winning 11K plus by half a point. I don't even know how the rest of these panned out. I would know I was at that game, and it almost landed perfectly on side and total.
And this gentleman's watching. Mizzou had the ball.
Yep.
Trying to go get some points on the board, sweating it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Good
for
him.
you, bro.
Good for you, bro.
Shout out
genius.
FanDuel.
Dude, you talked about Missouri, Alabama. How was the game? How many Chalai?
Gave it 3 Chalai, I
3
think.
Chalai game.
Very
Same
close
Chalai
game.
as Michigan, Nebraska.
Exactly. Very close game. Very competitive. Good environment. 11 a.m. kickoff, which means you're back home by the time the 6 o'clock games kick off.
That's nice.
That was a good Saturday.
Every college football kid, when they finish the games early, they're like, can't wait to get home and watch the 6 p.m. kickoff. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
It's not even go out with the boys or nothing.
Yeah.
No.
How we feeling, gentlemen?
Well,
Below 500. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how you two feel, but I feel 18-19.
I see, 4-1 last week, 3-2 week before, 3-2 week before, just 3 winning weeks in a row. Everybody's starting to call this Separation Saturday.
People think 3-2 is bad. 3-2 is 60%. You go 60% over the course of your life. You own this building and several other buildings and companies named after you, and Matt Rule's not going anywhere because no one can afford the buyout except for you. Yeah, that's crazy. You're stacking weeks.
That's what you want.
It's
0-5 is just.
No.
I knew this cliff was coming. I think I said it a couple weeks before. I was like, there's no way I can keep going. Things are going to keep going this well. I talked about it. I never truly prepared for it. So this week has been a gauntlet of a mental week for me. Just trying to figure out where I stand, who I want to be. At the end of the day, it's like you just got to keep trusting yourself.
But shout out to people who faded you. It's hard. It's harder to go 0-5, just as hard as it is to go 5-0.
Yeah.
So the people that faded you, they're celebrating. They can't wait to see what you're going to pick this week.
The problem for those people is I've been above 500 so much. A lot of people are probably like, I probably should follow this guy. So if anything, I hurt some people out there. This week, I would not suggest fading me this week. I would not suggest that. This seems like a strong week.
Generational talent.
It's right up here. And you can get him at bwtb.com. Generational picker. That's what it should say.
Generational picker. There you go.
Yeah.
Josh, is there anything going on in the college world that we should know about going into the show?
Penn State.
That you've learned in between your show last night to this morning?
So, yes, I think a lot of jobs are going to open up. We've been hinting at that, some would say fairly strongly, over the past couple of weeks, i.e. there's a game in Auburn, Alabama this weekend. I think you're going to talk about Missouri a little bit later to some degree. If Missouri goes down there to Auburn and wins, all that noise that was around Penn State could be around Auburn. I really, frankly, don't care what Florida does against Mississippi State, although I do lean Bulldogs plus the points, which we'll also talk about later. There's going to be noise around Florida no matter what. I think some people have dug in the past and realized Jimbo Fisher's last game at A&M was a win against Mississippi State, and he still got fired because they weren't waiting to see what Jimbo did against MSU. They were waiting for the bye week that followed MSU, just like Florida's got a bye after they play Mississippi State. So you got some noise in Penn State right now. I think you're imminently going to have some noise in the SEC, which means if you're sitting there and you're the head coach at Pate State, which you would never leave, but if theoretically you wanted to leave and you knew Penn State wanted you, but you also knew maybe the Auburn job comes open, maybe the Florida job comes open, maybe some jobs we're not even talking about right now, but that are also pretty big are going to come open. You're in no hurry because you know that there's going to be more demand, which means the market and your price is going to get driven up. And maybe you don't leave, but maybe best case scenario, you make me pay you a ton more money to stay. Maybe I fill your NIL coffers a little bit more. Maybe I give you a bigger support staff and salary pool. All of these things are in play right now. It bores some people. Some people like this stuff more than the games themselves. Those are sick people, but there are people like that out there, the hot seat crowd.
Are there games that people aren't necessarily thinking about at the moment that could be taking place this weekend that could start a domino effect for potential chaos?
Well,
Like if you sit back, you not talking to anybody else, but you sit back, you're watching the entire college football landscape play out. You're like, oh, what if this team loses this weekend? I wonder if noise will get loud around this program.
Well, we don't like bringing up irresponsible talking points on this show. We don't
Correct.
do that. We
Correct.
echo them once they're already out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think you
Let's
can,
pretend late night, it's 11:30 at night. We just got done playing video games. Taylor's parents are yelling at us to go to bed, and we're kind of just sitting around talking
We're
about
sleeping
college
bags
football.
whispering. We're just the sleeping bags whispering.
No one
right
can
now.
hear us. No one's listening
Right.
to us, and you just drop a question of, "Hey, what if this happens?" And we're like, "No way."
if Washington
Shut up.
goes into Ann Arbor and beats Michigan, it's going to not be good. And I think it's ironic that there's been one chair on this set that has given constant noise to another chair on this set about losing that chair's head coach, that all of a sudden could have to deal with rumors and innuendo and outright reports about their own head coach if they fall to Washington. Model loves Michigan. Model doesn't think it's going to happen. But you know what? The Model kind of sort of thought Penn State would take care of Northwestern last week, and they didn't. So once Lincoln Riley has run all over you, are you really confident about are you really confident about anything? That's the question. All right, we can lean back. Mic's back on. We're back on the record.
This would be the point of the sleepover when I'm in my sleeping bag and I think to myself, I know I should have never invited him. You should never conjoin friend groups.
Zip it all the way up to the mouth.
Hey, good talk. Maybe my dad was right. We should go to sleep.
But it's not going to happen, right?
And I'm in my sleeping bag, putting the sleep mask on, taping my
the
mouth,
last thing-
cozy, and
There's no way.
God damn it, it's happening.
No way. There's no way. Look
The
at that
timing
Look at that Washington.
of 6.5.
That
He's staring at
Washington.
me.
That Washington +5 ticket in his hand right now. He knows something. Someone knows something.
I'll say my comment when he's done laughing.
give him a second.
Here's the thing that you said that worries me is foundationally what is Michigan?
Yeah.
It's a hard-nosed, tough running football team who is going to play great defense and make you quit. And after last weekend, I'm a human being just like everybody else. You see that happen, you're like, well, can that happen again? Is Washington capable of doing that?
At home.
They got a hell of a wide receiver. They got a hell of a quarterback, great running back. I mean, they were in the game with Ohio State, had multiple trips to the red zone, only came away with 6 points. Like, those are the things that make me nervous. Now,
Things that should make you feel good, though, Washington. They haven't been the best at getting off to a fast start.
That's
Right.
true. That is true. The last 2 weeks, Wisconsin goes down and drives and scores. USC goes down and drives and scores on their first drives. And then we tighten
But
up.
look, Washington hasn't been going down.
Yeah, listen, and I can't believe I'm arguing for my team. I'm just telling you, if we're sitting here and we're technically still in the sleepover and nobody's watching this show, yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little nervous because 2 years ago, my chest is bigger than ever, talking about a national championship. Now we're talking about losing to Washington at home,
Off the record.
off the record.
Off the record.
And the
Off
other
the-
good
Potential
news-
head coach hot seat.
And it's like,
If you lose
yeah,
this game?
if there's another individual over here who we're not going to name who's worried about losing their head coach, these are two totally different reasons. I'm worried about losing my boy because someone higher up than me goes, that's not good enough. As the other hand, my other boy, he's looking at his guy going, please don't leave because you are good enough. Both scary. Both different, both scary.
Ours not leaving.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you.
Who were you talking about?
Well, a couple weeks ago, you said Billy Napier, he's a homie. If you had a beer with him, you'd love him more than anybody.
He was
I'm
talking about
thinking
me and Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
you and Billy.
Oh, you don't want him
He
to
was
leave
talking about
Florida.
us Florida
Got you.
fans.
Yeah.
Did you think he was talking
Gotcha.
about Nebraska?
Are you
Just to
Nebraska?
address,
Are you nervous about Nebraska? I was talking about Billy.
I'm not nervous about Nebraska. Not nervous whatsoever.
Not at all.
No.
Nebraska
I
wasn't
think
even
it's
on the card.
I think
don't
it's
even see
all. I think
Nebraska.
again. I've said it. I think it's all very real. I just think Nebraska's gonna. They'll wake up. They'll hear what our
Wake
guy
up their
wants.
wallets.
Yeah, they'll hear what our guy wants. They'll hear him loud and clear.
Do you get nervous that Raiola goes, he's not going anywhere? Talking about your coach, but didn't say anything about him.
No, I don't listen. No.
You don't. You're like Alex Golesh. You don't have time to listen.
Yeah,
you're
listen,
so focused,
we're focused
on the season.
Gophers. You talk about the hottest head coach right now being talked about across the board to everybody, and you get Friday Night Lights on national television against the Minnesota Gophers, a team we haven't beat since 2016 at Minnesota. Come on.
Great
Noise
spot.
is only going to get louder, and does it make everybody uncomfortable? Sure, absolutely. But you have to get as uncomfortable as possible in this situation to know that Nebraska is going to have the biggest W coming out of it at the end
I
of the
don't
year.
worry about Will Compton when the pressure gets big. Because when you were at Nebraska, 10-win, 11-win seasons, you were fueled in fire.
Didn't have any 11 win, but
Sorry,
yeah, 10.
9-10 win
9,
season,
10, yeah.
Big Ten championship appearances.
Yeah,
You were a guy that back against the wall, you swung.
yeah.
Everybody else, the pressure, I can't say that for them.
That's all right. That's why,
That's why
I'll
you-
stand at the forefront.
That's why you stay at the forefront.
Yeah, I stand at the front.
Because they need you now more than ever.
Yeah.
What you have built.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's talk
We'll be
about,
talking about it.
Utah at BYU.
Let's get in some games.
Utah-
Separation Saturday.
Utah favored 3.5. Total points in that game is 48.5. I'll be honest. I saw American Primeval when it came out.
Yeah.
It left a bad taste in my mouth about a certain group of people since then. So when I'm watching the BYU film, I might not seeing it with clear vision. Whatever the opposite of rose-colored glasses are. I see a quarterback that wears number 47. I see him in a little bit of a dogfight with Arizona, double overtime. And then I look at Utah, who a couple weeks ago we sat there with them versus Texas Tech, and you're like, one of these teams, you go, what if one of these teams blows the other one out and they just run away with everything? And essentially that did happen. People forget that the game was 10-3 early in the fourth quarter, and then it became a blowout with a backup quarterback. But I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about Utah. This guy's getting my ass. He knows I'm weak with this 0-5.
Just give us a second, everybody at home. Maybe just take a moment now to subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Do you change your pick right now? You know where you were going. Do you change your pick right now? You got to think this through. Do you believe in signs, or do you believe that things just randomly happen? Because Joaquin Phoenix in Signs, he's a signs guy. Mel Gibson had his faith questioned, tested a little bit, but you remember what happened to Mel in the end.
Yeah.
What?
I don't want to spoil the ending for you. I mean, you need to go watch the movie. I'm just saying.
Do you not watch Signs?
Signs. Yeah, I've seen Signs. The crops.
Yeah, with the crops. Well, the aliens too.
Yeah. I thought that was
Mainly the aliens.
I thought that was okay.
Keep the momentum.
Got him.
You got
no
him. There
shit.
we go.
Got him. Yeah, he's dead. His body's down here.
So
That's a
somewhere.
good sign
what
for
you're
hey.
saying
That's
to
a
me
good
is
sign. Whoever you pick, I think is the.
I'm leaning Utah. But
Yes.
he laughs at me.
Oh,
And now you're thinking that maybe I should go BYU?
I need separation with you and you, frankly. So I want you to go Brigham Young.
Have you been to a game in Brigham Young?
I've been to Utah.
Yum.
I've not been to BYU. I flew over Provo to get to Salt Lake. That makes them sound like flyover country. It just so happens our approach brought us over Provo. So I saw the stadium from above, but I have not been able to go there. Also, there definitely is, I can confirm, some random thick mustached executive somewhere that wants this game not to be called the Holy War anymore. So we just need to publicly trash anybody that's trying to strip the name Holy War from this game before we go the way of the Red River rivalry and whatever they called the game in Jacksonville between Georgia and Florida now. So this is the Holy War. You saw American Primeval. This is the Holy War. It's at BYU. BYU undefeated. Utah already with a loss, and Utah still favored? I thought you were what your record says you were in college football. That's what the chat tells me every week. How could this be?
Common opponent, BYU beat West Virginia 38-24. Utah smacked them 48-14. This has got Utah written all over it.
Yeah?
It does. Where you going? I'm not picking yet. Where are you going?
I'm going Utah minus the points. I thought BYU was going to lose last week.
Josh, you want to pick that up?
Yeah, let me pick this up.
Oh, you Oz Perlman?
Do you want me to keep this to myself?
You can read it out loud.
Okay. Everyone knows I don't watch these teams. But let me ask you something. Do you know what soaking is?
Oh, I know what soaking is.
Utah, minus 3.5.
There's your pick.
Before the show, I asked Will where he's going. And he just like, I got something for it. I'm thinking, you're not going to tell me where you're going? He goes, you'll see on the show. I'm thinking, this motherfucker just won't just tell me. He's gatekeeping his 4-1 record against me.
Shared with you
pull out
your entire life. Full transparency, no secrets. All of a sudden, we're in week 8, 2025 season. It's Utah BYU. That's when the veil goes up. That's when you can't get anything out of him.
You can't get anything out of Will. But I picture him 20 minutes before the show starts, before you get here, you're just tucking on the nose.
Yeah.
This one
Don't touch this. Don't touch this till the show.
Are we
Can you
worried
give me the
that?
helmet?
We're not worried.
Yeah, I'm laying the points.
I think BYU's also got a gauntlet coming up too, right?
Well, it's going to be tougher than it has been, yeah.
Yeah.
They got Cincinnati, they got Texas Tech.
Arizona's, they're not. No disrespect to the boys in Tucson. I grew up in Arizona, but
They're not very good.
they're not very good.
Although they will cover against Houston this weekend. But yes, they're not all that great. Second-year staff out there, not all that great.
Not all that great. Tucson, not a lot of NIL fun there. Michelob Ultra, they got this idea. Play for an Ultra.
Superior bragging rights.
Superior bragging rights.
Let's just show them a little thing, because it doesn't have to always be like these big, long, doesn't have to be video games, stuff on the field. It can be as simple as a rock, paper, scissors. People have been watching us play rock, paper, scissors. My record right now is 4-2.
2-4. A lot of pressure on you.
A lot of pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that one was easy. But that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer.
I thought there was no way you were going to do the same thing again.
I knew you were.
Next game?
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
guys, Utah?
Utah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Utah
yeah,
across the
Utah.
board. Utah across the board. No separation this week between us. USC, number 20 USC at Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored by 9.5. That blows my
Crazy
mind
number.
on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now. 9.5 favorites Notre Dame is. The over-under on this game is 61.5.
Do you have any notes?
Yeah, so I bring these in from the show that I do the night before.
Okay.
These are not specifically from
I got
the show.
notes too, Josh.
I got notes too.
All right. Do you have a paper? There we go. Let's pop the paper on this. All right. Do we believe that last week was a statement?
No.
Did USC make a statement? Or did they just look impressive?
I think
against Michigan?
USC didn't make a statement for themselves, but I think if you're a fan of USC and you've watched this team, I think that was a good statement win for what people want to see out of the USC Trojans.
Yeah.
I think
it was just really nice to see. It's a welcome change. We outrushed Michigan. We were the most physical team on the field against Michigan. These are things we haven't said about ourselves. True. All right, you were also favored in the game. It was in the Coliseum. That's not where you make statements. Where you make statements is on the road as, what's the line?
9.5.
As a 9.5 point dog against a team that is physically your superior and they just fully believe they'll be able to lean on you. Now, this is a game that profiles as one of those total is not high enough games. USC, number 2 passing offense. Notre Dame, pass defense in the 100s. But a lot of Notre Dame fans feel that's old news. We've rectified it now. We've given up like 27 points the last 3 games combined, which is less than we gave up against A&M in 1 game. Notre Dame, number 19 pass offense. USC pass defense in the 100s. So you got to ask, firstly, is the Notre Dame defensive resurgence real? Number 2, Leonard Moore against Lemon is one of the best corner wide receiver matchups that you'll see all year. You'll see that one on Sundays for years to come. If USC has edge there, then downstream, I think they have edge in pass catching all night long. And I think you find out maybe some of that Notre Dame defensive resurgence was a mirage against bad teams. So that's the first thing to watch. But the second thing to watch is this is a We Are Notre Dame game to me. This is a USC's coming in, all the talk about passing and everything. We still got Price, we still got Love, we still got Notre Dame's ethos, like what we believe, who we are at our core, that we should be able to use to lean. I believe just enough about USC last week, and I believe just enough about the year 2 improvement they've made defensively that I don't think it's a runaway game for Notre Dame. So if you're giving me the points with USC, I'll say this softly, I'll believe in Lincoln Riley, and I'll take the points with USC.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. And just also, Notre Dame, they run man more than everybody in college football. And they have not only Lemon, but who's the other kid as well? They get one that was hurt,
Lane.
guy came back. What's it?
Jacoby Lane.
Jacoby Lane. You're going to run man against both those guys all day long with the way the quarterback's throwing the ball. I just keep seeing too high, red zone, Lemon break out on a post route, and just the quarterback putting a perfect ball to Lemon against Michigan, and it broke my heart. And if you're going to run man versus those guys the whole time, I also agree with you. The thing that gives me a little bit of pause is if we can. Is it aimed at me this week?
Might need to turn him off. Make sure, again, another opportunity to subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel.
Honestly, I got to stop moving around so much in my chair.
I don't think you've done anything abnormal this week. I think it's a different energy this week.
Yeah.
Let's turn it off.
This is where you fight the demons.
Yeah.
This is the Conjuring. This is everything. Like, are you going to stand up or are you going to run away?
You try to be festive.
We just
and this
beat
is the
the
price
shit
you
out
pay.
of this guy.
Yeah, we got to beat the shit out of him this week. We're sitting here saying this was not a statement game, but the emotional post-game press conference from Lincoln Riley, the whole team celebrating, jumping, the crowd's going crazy. Can they get up for an emotional win going multiple time zones? I think that's the biggest question. Now, with the points, I'm still going to take USC because that's a lot. And after what they did to Michigan, it's like, how do you not believe at least some of that, 60% of that? And if they can do 60% of that, they keep it within 10 points.
Playoff on the line for Notre Dame.
Playoff on the line for Notre Dame. Playoff on the line for both teams.
But USC, this is not a conference game for them. So they're still technically in the Big Ten race if they lose Saturday. Notre Dame has no conference race to be in. They have no bailout. Let's make sure we go win the conference. So this is it for them. So they would know before Halloween, if they lose Saturday, we're not going to the playoff. That does something to a man.
Yeah. Just to go off of with you with that defensive resurgence at Notre Dame, I feel like a lot of teams when you're down, you're in more desperation mode to where you're throwing the ball more. If you look at the stats with Notre Dame, they've had 3 interceptions in the second half these last couple weeks. So they kind of run away with it. But going up to that, you look at Notre Dame versus Boise, it was only 14-7 going into halftime.
Yep.
NC State, it was only 10-7 going into halftime. Notre Dame's able to lean on them, get it going, then obviously you're forcing throws. That's where a lot of the interception moments come in. I think the USC team's for real. I think they're a very good team. I think Notre Dame's a good team. But with 9.5 points, like I'm taking USC 10 times out of 10 here.
Right.
I watched what happened at them versus Michigan.
Yeah.
I called what was going to happen, them versus Michigan. I saw what happened with them when they lost to Illinois, like how good this offense is. They have so many weapons. They have a very good quarterback. As long as they can get after C.J. Carr a little bit along the defensive front, The question mark is still, can they run the football as well as they did against Michigan, against Notre Dame? I like USC, or I love USC. This is like, I don't want to say favorite pick of the week because I feel like that'll be the absolute jinx.
My favorite pick of the week last week was Alabama over Missouri. Lingo. Especially if you're going to go USC, I need this.
If you've been watching USC, this is a good football team. They just dropped one when they traveled again a couple time zones to Illinois. They're going to be in the same situation here with Notre Dame. This game is going to be awesome, but I like USC with the points.
Did all three go USC plus the points?
Yeah.
Separation Saturday is really cooking up nicely right now.
Are you ready to flip?
No. I'm just wanting to point out to the audience, the way college football's worked historically is this is a trap spot. And this is where someone wins 38-10. Historically. Okay, I had that factored in and took USC even knowing that. Because what I think is if you believe that the sport has compacted, then you're going to have fewer runaway and hide type games. Mm-hmm. You're going to have fewer roster flex type games. And so I actually think this is a spot where you're looking at it and like Vegas wants you on one side and you're willingly going to that side. Historically, that's a bad proposition. I actually think we've kind of passed a curve right now in betting logic to where maybe you're the first to the party at knowing the side they want you to be on conditionally may be the side to be on in some of these cases. I think this may be one of those cases. I don't think this is a Notre Dame runaway and hide type moment.
And look, Jordan's only thrown, 2 interceptions this year?
And remember, Maava threw 2 pick sixes in this game last year. That USC, the box score is crazy. I believe USC outgained Notre Dame, and Notre Dame runs away with the game because of defensive scoring, which counts. And if you do it again this year, it'll count again this year. But
models can't predict that, though.
They can't, and it's totally randomized. So maybe you get a different result on the road than USC was even able to get at home.
Yeah. Love it, boys. We're there.
We're here. LSU at Vanderbilt, just down the road. Fall Don't Lie Tour.
Fall Don't Lie Tour is going to be there.
That way.
Yeah.
You going to walk?
I think because it's powered by Quick Trip, I'm going to drive out of solidarity with my partners, but I could walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I looked at this line, and it makes sense. Vanderbilt's favored -2.5. The total points in that game is 48.5. It's just crazy to me, even though Vanderbilt's been good for a couple of years now, to see them playing against the LSU. Like, you look at the brands, and you're like, holy shit, like Vanderbilt is favored against the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, and it hasn't moved all week. In fact, it's gone the way of Vandy a little bit. I think it's even moved up a point.
Vandy coming off a bye. Big loss, got embarrassed. Diego Pavia gets in an argument with a middle-aged man. Coach behind him is yelling, they're just kids.
Yeah. They're just kids.
Bad look.
Pavia is your age, but he's just a kid.
Yeah. Exactly. How's he, 25, 26?
I gotta be.
He's damn near 30.
Yeah.
He's been in college football for about seven years.
Yeah.
LSU's offense looks stagnant. Their defenses look good. Not great. I like Vanderbilt.
This is Vanderbilt -2.5.
I like Vanderbilt. I like Clark Lee, McConnell.
I made a very
that's probably one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I made a very offhanded comment. I believe it was about the Miami Hurricanes going into the first game, trying to create some theatrics, some Hollywood for the game, saying that they were the dog, sitting there at the gate barking, but once you walk up to the gate, they don't bite you. To me, I think that's LSU. I've been calling LSU fraud since the Florida game when I watched them have 5 turnovers and they only won by 10 points.
You took that personal.
Took it personal. I did. I took it personal. And if you watch the LSU South Carolina game, I mean, it's 10-10 deep into the third quarter.
Yeah.
10-10 deep into the third quarter. They get a quick slant that gets taken to the house, a massive explosive play. Then they're backed up. South Carolina's got them backed up. And Nussmeier scrambles like he's Lamar Jackson. They pop an explosive run, and then Nuttmeyer throws a pick in the red zone. Nuttmeyer throws a pick in the red zone. They had some better optimism offensively of getting in, the opponent territory, but they don't find ways to get points. I'm sticking to what my thought was about LSU. I think they're frauds right now. And I think Vanderbilt is going to beat them this Saturday here in Nashville. And they've been sitting on the bye week. They've been kind of licking their wounds.
2 weeks.
Since the Alabama game. Mm-hmm. They still believe, this team still believes that they are SEC champions, that they're national title contenders. So I'm going to buy it. I'm going to believe it. Willie C, listen, I'll be there. I'll be making an appearance at this Nashville Vanderbilt LSU game.
Wait, you're going?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
We got the fam will be there, sideline, and then we'll be in one of the end zones.
So you're going to the Fall Don't Lie Tour?
Yes, we'll be attending the Josh Pate Fall Don't Lie Tour in support. And if you can slide me a little freight, Steve, I'll throw a Rue in it for you.
You want a onesie? She's too old for a onesie.
She's too old. Are you just onesies? Do you have little t-shirts?
No, we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a code. I got a promo code for you. We'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get a small, throw it in the dryer and high.
You know what else I respect about you? You've done this with Illinois football. You've done this with LSU football. When you get locked in on a prediction, no one's breaking you. And it does not matter if you take the last name of the quarterback and you physically throw it into a wood chipper and just say what comes out of the wood chipper. I got Altenheimer, I got Nuttmeyer, and you don't even break a smile. You just go, and you picked Vandy minus the points. And I think I'm going to roll with you. Here's where I would be wrong.
All three again.
Here's where I would be wrong. And I do want some credit for this if LSU wins. Maybe a quarter win.
Okay.
LSU actually ran the ball last week. They haven't done it all year. They hadn't had a single game where they were above 4 yards per carry. All of a sudden, they popped 5.5 yards per carry on South Carolina. And you talked about how the offensive performance still left a lot to be desired. True. The difference is there were a couple of turnovers that kept the game from being a pull-away game. Now, no, not important enough. So if that was a mirage, we'll find out, because Clark Lee's really good. Defensive staff, I believe in the whole stewing on a loss over 2 weeks sort of protocol. This is a Super Bowl spot for Vanderbilt. But I just wonder, number one, we're going to have to ask all year about Garrett Nussmeier, a.k.a. Nuttmeier's health. I don't know if he can push the ball down the field. I don't know really if LSU can run the ball consistently to take the pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier. I think you're facing one of the best defensive staffs in the country at making you prove that.
They're top 20 in run defense.
You can't see through them. But a lot of people still believe, because it's Vanderbilt, oh, that's a cute story, and it's whatever. Like, they'll keep taking advantage of that as long as people keep saying that. I got to see LSU do that stuff one more week. Like, I got to see them really flex offensively, and I just don't know that they have that capability. And also, even if they do, they're just flat out playing a good team this week. So there are some things that could go right for LSU and they still lose the game. So I think there are a lot of paths for Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Vandy and lay the points. And so we're arms locked on this.
Yeah.
I think
games
that,
in a row.
And again, another stat for Vanderbilt, they're number 1 in the country in yards per rush. They can run the football very well. I think the second level for LSU, they have some deficiencies, like with their eye discipline. Like, you'll be seeing guys, they'll be a man-to-man. Y will sift back across. Linebacker won't see it. They'll be hitting the guy in the flat because they're trying to play the run. They might see a sifter and they might not fall back to the correct gap. I just think Vanderbilt will find some holes in this LSU defense to where those are the two separations for myself. I think they'll do a great job stopping the run against LSU because, again, they did have success against South Carolina, but it was their one game of doing it. And I think Vanderbilt is really good at running the football.
We had a lot of talks about coaches. If LSU drops this game to Vanderbilt in maybe not by 3 points, but 7 points.
If they drop it, period. If they just drop it, period.
You know where the question's going.
It's going to turn up on Brian Kelly. It's going to be a second conference loss.
So we got potential Michigan. We got potential LSU.
If you want to know one where there's not noise right now.
Potential Auburn.
Yeah. Like we talked about Michigan, and that was kind of joking, kind of true. But like nationally, no one's talking about LSU right now. Kind of like nationally, people aren't talking about the Michigan job right now. You get on the message boards, they are. Just like LSU, you get on the message boards, there's like a quiet drumbeat. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is college football. You don't play 162 games. You play 12 of them. Mm-hmm. 8 of them in conference right now in the SEC. So if they go lose to Vanderbilt Saturday, I don't care how good Vanderbilt is. They won't respect it. They don't respect it's a good, hard-fought loss.
Yeah.
Like they would if you went and lost to Alabama by 3 or something like that. Brian Kelly does not have a ton of equity built up down there. And I think that's an elite job, and they know it's an elite job. Every coach there since the new millennium has won a national title. If you're going to losing to Vanderbilt, you just get further down the road of those people believing this guy's not going to win one here. Now, I wasn't even a supporter of Franklin getting fired. Firing coaches is always my last resort. But I have learned you got to take what I believe and put it on the shelf and talk about what reality is. Reality is their plane will not have landed in Baton Rouge Saturday if they lose to Vandy before that noise is really, really loud.
If the LSU job opens up, that's number 1 job in the country, yeah?
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, that's LSU.
Yeah.
Even if Florida was open.
It really depends on what you think. Like, there are some guys who don't ever want to coach in the SEC. So they would look at the Penn State job being better than the LSU job. Most people would look at the LSU job as being superior because of the access to talent and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on who you are. Like take a Matt Campbell, for example. I don't think Campbell ever wants to coach in the SEC.
This is your favorite
This
guy.
is my guy, yeah. I'll give him business cards if you guys are interested. But I don't think he'd want to coach at LSU. I don't think he'd want to coach in the SEC. That's just his personal preference. Some guys don't want to. But generically, yeah, the LSU job would be what everything works downstream of. It would be like a Keystone type job opening.
Yeah. We are also brought to you by Form Energy. Form delivers best-in-class taste with natural flavors and zero sugar. Form Energy has natural caffeine derived from green tea, and it comes in a variety of flavors. You got Screamin' Freedom, the one that the boys drinking right now. It's Rocket Pop inspired. You got Grape Smash, Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and from October 13th through October 22nd, you can find Form Energy for only $1 at 7-Eleven with 7 rewards, and that's nationwide. It's perfect for those who put in the work. So if you're a person who wakes up in the morning, gets a workout in, puts in a full day of work at the office, then come home and still give it your all, you are a Form Energy guy. Form Energy, we do the work. Back to the episode. Speaking of staying in the SEC, we got it. This is a big one. Ole Miss at Georgia. Yeah. Georgia favored right now by 7.5. Our old boy, 7.5. He can't laugh anymore, can he? Over/under on this game, 53.5.
So, Ole Miss,
how are we feeling?
Ole Miss in a dogfight with Washington State. You brought it up on Monday. They didn't even know they were playing Washington State until the third quarter, fourth quarter.
Yeah, I need to believe that. Because if the alternative is true, that just means Ole Miss is secret garbage.
Secret frauds.
Does the same go for Georgia and Auburn? Because Auburn at one point they're able to almost go up 17-0 if they don't fumble on the goal line on the quarterback sneak.
Georgia had run 12 plays with 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. 42 plays to 12. And Auburn still pissed the game away somehow. Can't believe that. Could have been 17-0, was 10-3, and they do nothing in the second half. Mm-hmm. And Georgia finds a way. I mean, Kirby was caught on camera saying, we stole that one. And he's right. They stole it. There's a lot of skill in being able to steal a win on the road in conference play. Georgia's not an elite team. People are trying to wrap their minds around that still. There are very few elite teams. Ohio State may be one, but you're not seeing Ohio State get tested every week either. But let's just say they are elite. I don't think there's an elite team in the SEC. So that means all these teams are vulnerable in these spots. But remember this, we were just talking about Vandy and LSU. And we all went Vandy. We went Vandy because of the bye week. We went Vandy because of what's built up and pent up, and they just lost to Bama. Well, Auburn had just come off back-to-back losses. Entire staff is under fire. They had a bye week to gear up for a home game at night against Georgia. So it's not a shock that the game was close. The line was 3.5 on the game. So the game was supposed to be close, and it was, and Georgia found a way to win. Kirby all week. Are you clapping? Or are you?
I'm just, I'm doing the.
That's a clap.
This is, I'm clapping.
That's a clap.
Yeah, I think they call it clapping now.
I appreciate it.
Even if I'm yelling.
Yeah, no.
That's
you're
me
saying,
trying to clap. I'm trying to.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was saying hooray.
Yeah.
That's me saying hooray. So Kirby steps to the podium for his press conference this week. And he's like, man, we need Sanford Stadium. We got to have this place on fire. We need the best home field environment in college football. It went over a lot of people's heads. That's normal. That's just a coach trying to charge up his place.
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you about first halves in this game. It's the most important first half in college football this Saturday.
Talk to us.
Ole Miss, number 6 team in the country in first half passing. Georgia has gotten behind in every big game this year. Defensively, they are 85th in pass yards per first half allowed. They are 130th in first half completion percentage allowed. They are notorious for getting behind the 8 ball this year. They got behind against Tennessee, had to fight back to win. They got behind against Alabama at home, did not come from behind. They were down bad against Auburn last week, could have been a lot worse. They find a way to come from behind. Difference is Auburn did not have the explosivity element to their offense. They're in the 100s. Ole Miss is a top 15 explosive team. So if Ole Miss gets up on you, Ole Miss can continue to score. Mm-hmm. Also, you got to worry about the quarterback run, but you also have to worry about better wide receiver skill, which Auburn did not have. There is a belief in Athens that this is a team you can't let get the lead. So somehow, some way, they got to change everything they do, and Georgia's got to be able to get the lead. Now, there is the possibility, there is that card in the deck that Ole Miss is a total fraud. They went to Kentucky and had a close win. Famously, Lane did not cover against Kentucky earlier in the year. This is Trinidad Chambliss' first SEC road start because he didn't start that game. Also, the Washington State result last week may not have been them overlooking them. Maybe Ole Miss just isn't all that great. So you got to find out, are they hollow or are they for real on the Ole Miss side? You got to find out if Georgia can flip this first half problem they've had. So If the line is above 7, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it still is, right?
Yep, 7.5.
I'm doing the whole split the difference thing, but we're not talking about who's going to win straight up. I'm going to take Ole Miss plus the points because there are enough scenarios where Ole Miss wins the game outright where I'm happy to take Ole Miss plus the 7.5. First half tells you everything. I would live bet
Not a whole
this
lot you
game
can
very
argue
hard.
with that.
Yeah, I would live bet this game very hard.
It is. I think this game is going to come down. Like when you watch the first quarter, you're going to have a good idea of where Georgia stands in this game.
Very.
They're what 1-3 in their last 4 after the first quarter, and if Ole Miss, if they're as potent of an offense as they claim to be, or it seems that they are, and they're able to get up 2 scores on them in the first quarter, I don't think Georgia is able to come back in that way, or definitely not come back plus win by 8 points.
Also, remember this. You get up on them, you can run the ball on them.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss in the 90s in run defense. If Georgia's in a position where they trail and they have to throw the ball to catch up, Ole Miss is pretty good pass D. They're, I think, number 28 in the country pass defense. So for like 5 different reasons we just laid out, it's so important Georgia does not fall behind. Please continue.
No, that was it.
No, that was it.
Yeah, I think they're going to do. I think Ole Miss can win this game outright. I'm taking Ole Miss with the points.
Oh boy.
I know.
I kind of just want to take Georgia now. This is about as lame as it gets, fellas.
I
had a fucking Anakin Skywalker analogy with Lane Kiffin.
You see him on the podium. Person asked him, "Hey, who you and Kirby Smart, a couple of fiery guys. Who do you think burns more calories?"
Body shame.
Yeah,
Body shame.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world. We can body shame people
Does that
again.
count for any points? Either way.
No. Not in the model.
Not in the model. Model doesn't do that.
Can you imagine if you really get to know Kirby Smart and you find out that is what gets in his head? Of all the things that get said, like you're a head coach in the SEC, even when you're winning, you get ripped.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find out that it never affected him, but one of his peers, he talks to Lane a lot.
They're in a group chat.
Yeah, like one of his peers, he didn't even go to the group chat to call him fat. He called him fat publicly.
Yeah.
If that's what gets you.
To play devil's advocate for Georgia, we sat here a few weeks ago with Georgia and Tennessee, and the big shot is, can Georgia keep up with Tennessee in their explosive plays?
Yep.
Because they go east to west so much. The Mike Bobo, everyone hates him because he only goes east to west. They go into that game. They do go down, but they had a lot of explosive plays. They pushed the ball down the field the same way Tennessee did and end up coming away with a win.
Tennessee in the 100s in explosives allowed, which we'll talk about in the Bama-Tennessee game later. Ole Miss, that's why I pointed out top 30 pass D. It's a little different task having to play catch up against Ole Miss. Not elite, I'm not saying that. They're not shut down. Way different resistance than Tennessee's going to give you through the air.
All right.
Yeah. Does Ole Miss become the hottest team in the SEC this weekend, or does Georgia expose them as frauds?
That's it.
Since you guys took Ole Miss, I'm just going to go Georgia. Taking Georgia minus 7.5.
Only because
we're aligned on every pick.
I know that is kind of tough. I feel like we're going to be aligned on this.
You loved LSU. You've been loving LSU all year, and now you want Vandy.
Yeah, well, all the dominoes falling with Vandy. And the Alabama thing, they were up, they were playing a good game, started to get away from them in the second half. And if you're going to look at LSU and you're like, hey, their offense is going to be super strong this year, and they're not the first couple of games, their defense steps up, so you can lean on the fact that, hey, their defense has been terrible. When Brian Kelly first got there, they've just gotten better and better and better, and hey, that's a good defense now. Offense will figure it out. Nuttmeyer, they have 5 picks against Florida and only come away with 20 points total. You watch, I mean, we're over halfway through the football season. It's like at some point you got to jump ship. I'm not the captain of that ship. I'm not the Titanic. I'm going to sit there and watch a wave just come in and crash in and take me out. I'm getting on the fucking lifeboat.
Yeah.
Because I love to sit there and keep fighting, but like you put the LSU film on, it's like this doesn't look overly competitive to where they're going to win an SEC, they're going to win the national championship. Like it feels like a coach is on the hot seat after this game.
Game control is hard when you don't have a quarterback that can take the game over and you don't have a running game that can take the game over.
And you're playing a team that dominates game control.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the time position, I mean, I remember talking to JP after the South Carolina game. He's just like, there's nothing more infuriating to me as a South Carolina fan, just watching Vanderbilt sit there and let the clock tick down.
Yes, 3rd and 3 all night.
Yeah.
4th and 1 all night.
You just wear them down over and over again. And the thing about Vanderbilt is they don't got to do that. They don't have to sit there because LSU's offense is fraudulent.
Right.
So they don't have to keep this offense off the field. If anything, it's like, hey, take a couple shots at explosives, get ahead. So Nuttmeyer's got to push the ball down the field, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I like that.
I need Kirby Smart to know I will be tuned in the first half of that football game. This man over here is saying Georgia Bulldogs aren't elite. You're the fucking Georgia Bulldogs. Out physical this fucking team. Hand the ball to Frazier. Gunnar Stockton dikes it out to Zachariah or Zachary? Zachariah Branch. I want an ass whooping this weekend. What is it, Sanford or Sanford Stadium? Sanford Stadium, show the fuck up. Give me Georgia -7.5.
Could you imagine if Zach or Zachariah Branch stayed at USC? There'd be a diabolical offense this year.
Yeah.
They kind of already are.
But he wouldn't be
without
getting
him.
his. He wouldn't be able to show up this week against Ole Miss.
You just have 3 wide receiver ones.
Yeah.
Never run it. Also, we didn't talk about USC's missing their top 2 running backs.
Yeah, they are.
But that fucking walk-on kid, oh my God.
They're gonna throw. Well, they got like 5 of them all of a sudden. Yeah.
Have you guys thought about? And look, I'm off.
We're just going back.
I'm off Ole Miss. Have you guys thought about Lane Kiffin being the Anakin Skywalker of college football?
You want to do your analogy?
I thought of an analogy.
He trashed it like a moon pie.
Well, because I had this whole thing that gave me just, this is something I can root for and get behind.
Yeah.
And that's the Hollywood of college football that I love to buy and love to play into. But Lane Kiffin, stick with me here.
Listen.
Once upon a time in a faraway galaxy, Lane Kiffin, or Anakin Skywalker, was the chosen one. You had the Jedi Master, Nick Saban, the Yoda, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, whichever one you want to call him, teaching them about process, order, discipline, structure. But what made Lane Kiffin great was his creativity, the little bit of swag he had, the energy, the trolling. You know, Nick Saban, he doesn't teach to get out there in press conferences to give these one-line bits that we all love to laugh at because Kiffin knows he's kind of a funny guy as well. And everything that made Kiffin great is kind of what burned him with Alabama. This was a bad little breakup when he left Alabama because over in the corner was Mace Windu, or as I like to think, Kirby Smart, was all about loyal to the order, loyal to the council, the protector of the teachings of Nick Saban. He's gone out to kind of recreate it and be that Nick Saban. Now that Nick Saban's gone, he's the protector of the galaxy, right? Lane Kiffin now goes to Ole Miss. That is his Death Star. This is where Darth Kiffin is born. He wanted to rewrite the system, rewrite the playbook. He's been in conversations where he said that everything I learned about all these defensive masterminds with Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, and all those guys, and he created this offensive playbook to defeat these defenses. So when he stands on the sideline on Saturday and looks across the field and he sees and he sees Kirby Smart on the other side.
AKA.
It's not about AKA Mace Windu. It's not about just winning this football game. It's about showing the world that you don't have to be a clone of Nick Saban to conquer the galaxy, to conquer college football. And it's Hollywood and theatrics like that where I do love this game. And it's something I would have wanted to root for if we all weren't across the board on every pick. So that was kind of my analogy of this is kind of the Anakin Skywalker of college football. Somebody, a little bit of a bad boy, wants to do it this way, a little bit more ego than the other guys. So that was kind of my analogy. And something I think the Star Wars sickos could sit with me like, yeah, that's a pretty...
I mean, that went hard. Everything you just said. How many times did you do that in the mirror?
One time on the car ride over.
Oh.
I'm just really glad you didn't write all that on the note cards where I had to read.
Yeah.
73 note cards.
Yeah, break this down. Just start scrolling and read it out loud.
Wow.
I mean, everything you just said is Ole Miss all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me feel good.
Or the light fucking wins on Saturday. Not the dark side. Fuck the dark side.
Imagine the ending of Jaws. If instead of shooting that shark and blowing him up, he just misses the tank of gas and the shark just devours him. That's Lane. That's Lane sinking into the ocean with the rifle in his hand, and Kirby's just chewing on the gas tank as he's coming at him full speed. And this is not going to take as long as the Star Wars analogy. Plus, I haven't seen Star Wars. But you fire and you fire and you fire and you miss, and he eats you. That's the Georgia win. Would have been an interesting ending to that movie if the shark just takes out Chief Brody.
Yeah.
And just rips him into 37 pieces.
Sounds like you have an opportunity here. Remake.
We're talking about Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Outside of just losing to Bama, they lost to Bama and snapped a how many game winning streak? Winning streak. The home
pre-COVID.
Game, pre-COVID winning streak. They're back at home. Wow. They're at home against LSU.
Starting a new streak.
It just could be that simple that we're overthinking it so much where it's like, Georgia's going to take care of this team.
But Georgia's going to win this game by more than by 2 scores.
7.5, yeah. Should we go True Classic Game of the Week?
True Classic Game of the Week.
All right, this True Classic Game of the Week is brought to us by True Classic. Your boy, I rock True Classic all the time. Delaney Walker's got on some True Classic, the Pima shirts. They got a little curve in there. If you look at my shirt, stick with me here. We got the Pima curve. It's got a little curve on the side to make you look good, feel good, play good. And you can find True Classic at Amazon, in Costco, Sam's Club, and Target nationwide, or online at trueclassic.com/bussin. Look good, feel good, play good. True Classic. Let's get to the game of the week.
We got Tennessee at Alabama. Third Saturday in October, generational matchup. Joey Aguilar versus Ty Simpson. Hey, Ty Simpson.
High and tight.
Alabama favored 7.5 points. Total points that game is 58.5. A lot of orange in the live studio audience today. Would any of you like to come and stand up and speak for your team before we get into this game?
Jack,
come on, Jack.
Yes. Just standing in the corner. Yes.
Also, big Alabama fan, Garrett,
Go up there.
he will speak next. We will make our decisions after that.
There's a live up there.
I will try and keep this short and sweet. A few keys to success. One, set the tempo. Got to go out there with structured play calling mixed in with some ambitious stuff. Get Alabama's defense a little off kilter. We got to win in the trenches. Establish the run game early so that we can open up for play action passes. Have to protect Joey Aguilar at all cost. Biggest key to success, defense. Bend, do not break. We know there are holes there in the secondary. They're saying a lot of stuff. It's a field of dreams, as one of the Bama wide receivers mentioned this week, which I love. Good bulletin board material. And special teams. Need explosive plays and got to flip the field. The last time Tennessee won in Bryant-Denny was 2003. It was a 5 OT game. I don't know what's going to happen. It's scary. Historically, Tennessee does not perform well in Bryant-Denny. But I'll just say this right now.
Tell us.
If Joey Aguilar goes down into Tuscaloosa and wins, we're building a goddamn statue in Knoxville. And that's all.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh, yeah. Well said, Jack.
Garrett? A lot of fear in that
Jack,
voice.
yeah, Jack's keys to the game. Win in every area of the game. You're going to win.
Yeah, third Saturday in October. We all know what this one means. It will be me versus the world this weekend on the stream. Make sure you tune in. I think Alabama's got to keep the mindset of this is business. I know we just did a little bit of talking about the field of dreams, but when we get on the field, it is play, get back for the next play, shut them down. It's got to have that same locked-in attitude and get it done. A great coach once said, the biggest disrespect is when someone tries to take what's yours. So let's not be denied what we want. Roll Tide.
Well said. Well said.
If you're going off of speeches.
And you can just, they're boys.
They're boys. But Garrett's got like a calm, like, I know it's a third.
You can tell they
week in
both
October.
have
I know
respect.
you're
They both
excited
want to
about
say,
this.
and let's get a couple things for an edge.
Right.
Kind of hear the nerves in the voice.
Yeah. What is the thing you said last week? It was like rock, paper, scissors, but if 1 + 1 + 1 equals
The
3.
transitive property.
Transitive property.
Yeah.
Does that take place here?
Well, yes. Yes, possibly.
What,
Possibly.
did I follow the transitive property correctly?
Not necessarily. It's okay.
Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia's the common
Georgia
opponent.
wins.
So Georgia beat Tennessee, Bama beat Georgia. Therefore, Bama's got a roll against Tennessee, according to the transitive property.
Okay, but just before we go into the game,
Yeah.
did I get transitive property correct?
You brushed up against it enough where I knew what you were talking about.
That's all I care
Yes.
about, man. That's all right. All right.
Who do you got, Taylor?
Dude, yesterday this game was at 9.5, 2 days ago, 9.5, and I was like, this has got to be Tennessee all the way. I listened to Piquel talk about how the back end of Tennessee is absolutely horrendous. They give up explosive plays all the time. And then he comes up and he's like, but they get the #1 sack rate, in college football, or top 5 sack rate in college football, like 7.55%, whatever that percentage means to you. And it's like, okay, all right, that's a good note. We got to get after the quarterback. But what does Ty Simpson do well? He does well throwing the ball in the pocket, but he does even better on these, hey, he's under pressure, he gets himself out of pressure, these wide receivers. You got the infection and the guy who was the teddy bear, Ryan Williams, who might be a future Michigan Wolverine. You got those guys out there, and they're going to separate in those off-schedule plays. And as his line gets lower and lower towards Alabama, I was sitting with the Vols, and I think I'm rolling Tide. They hurt me last week after I've kind of been against them for a while. But for whatever reason, with 7.5 points, Bryant-Denny Stadium. What color hoodie are we wearing?
Black. All black.
All black hoodie for Kalen DeBoer, 12-2. And then I think about us in the beginning of the year. You talk about the back end of Alabama's defense. How everybody is an NFL guy. Not only is everybody who's on the field, but the guys who are off the field waiting their turn are also NFL guys. They're starting to turn it up in the run game. Ty Simpson is one of those dudes that after week 1, you're like, do we have a problem? No. He is a Heisman favorite for a reason. And I sit there and I'm like, if they haven't won since 2003, does that really change this year? And I liked 9.5. I sit there at 7.5. I'm taking Alabama.
Yeah, I think this game's Alabama. Alabama minus 7.5. I think they had a moment where they could have lost last week at Mizzou, where that could have been their letdown spot. But seeing them take care of business, and obviously DeBoer, friend of the show, he was kind of talking about the
Hypo
stand.
friend of the show.
Yeah, hypo friend of the show. But a couple weeks ago, whenever we had him on, and the urgency that they have there, the way that they have bounced back this season after that very far away now, week 1 loss against Florida State. I think they've handled themselves in such a way to where they're locked in and focused. And I think this is going to be one of those games to where it could be close going into halftime, and Tennessee fans are more so, if you're sitting there watching the game rooting for your team, like, man, if we could have got off the field on those 3rd and longs, or we could have converted points on this one. Like, this is a game that in their minds feel closer than what it is. And then I think of Alabama, and I think that they are a national title competitive type team, to where last year, if you go NFL analogies, it was almost like you could be close at halftime against last year the Eagles, against the Lions, but once you get in the second half and they're able to lean on you. And again, Ty Simpson, this offense, they can throw the ball as well as anybody, and he takes care of the football. I think Tennessee's going to need turnovers. I just don't think they'll get them with Ty Simpson. Their back end is not very good. And if you're in the secondary and you're hearing those comments, hopefully you take it as bulletin board material. But if you're a liability in the back end, and the other guy on the other side of the ball is feasting and salivating at the opportunity and knows that, these boys ain't any good, you're going to do one of 2 things when that game kicks off on Saturday. You're either going to obviously show up, see it as bulletin board material, compete, or the moment one catches on you, you're in your own head. I think it's much harder to be a DB than it is a wide receiver talking shit. So I like Alabama. I like Alabama to cover this game.
And both those last things you said can be true together. Like, you can have the idea of, I'm going to flip the script here. I'm going to compete. I'm going to be a dog this week. But if one catch does
it just
happen,
takes one catch.
Very easy to go back.
Takes one explosive play.
Man, we really just can't get right, to the point where we're pointing fingers a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe there's a piece of me that believes in Josh Heupel's offense, though. If he was a Pokemon, he'd be Ditto. He can adapt to essentially anything and become
it's the same
any kind of offense he wants to be.
It's the same formula they got to have that they showed against Georgia, where they should have won that game. Georgia escaped it, ended up beating them, but it's like, you got to win explosives early. You're going to have the lead against this team. I just don't think they don't have enough in the second half against Bama.
Same offensive staff for Tennessee against the same defensive staff for Bama as last year. They beat Bama last year. What stood out to me, I was at this game last year, was how many guys ran wide open that Nico missed. So there was a lot of meat left on the bone. So the line is 7.5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to pull upsets in rivalry games, just historically college football has shown you have to take something on the stat sheet and rip the stat sheet up. To me, for Tennessee, that would be a couple of things have to happen here. One would make sense, the other wouldn't. The first one is Josh Heupel's entire offense is predicated on running the ball, even though everyone thinks it's throwing the ball all over the place. You got a really good ground game, again, against a Bama run D in the 90s. So if you start controlling the game early like that, everything kind of falls into place like dominoes. The other thing that would not make sense is what if Bama turned the ball over? They've only done it twice all year, like you guys said. What would force that? This Tennessee secondary is terrible. What would force that? Probably playing a lot of zone against Alabama, forcing them to be patient, and they get a little too aggressive. This could be the kind of game where Ty Simpson throws for 360, but has a couple of picks. And you look at it and you say, wow, Bama's outgaining, and wow, Ty's stat line looks great. But you try and just go get a little bit too much, a little bit too often, and something happens where Tennessee, who is number 2 in the SEC in takeaways, I think 3 defensive scores in the past 4 or 5 games, 6 games, something like that, where they snatch a possession or two like that. And that would be how an upset would happen. The problem with all of that is I watched Bama against Missouri last week.
That fly.
Focus.
I know. Focus.
They left so much on the field, and they know it. And they've talked about it all week, about how many receiving yards were left on the field, that I think it's such a premium focus with them. And I think the biggest mismatch on our entire card this week is Bama's passing game against the secondary. Number 15 pass offense, number 123 pass defense, number 18 in explosive, number 126 in explosives allowed. Close game, like you said early. I think there are moments where you think Tennessee's got a shot here, and then it ended up Bama winning double digits in the end.
Oh.
So I'll take Bama to win and cover.
You did that last time, Jack.
Have you guys been to this game? You have not?
We were at this game last year.
Yeah, we were there.
This is the most
Because
underrated.
also, who else was throwing the? Yeah, Nico might have missed some shots, but who also missed some shots?
Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe. There's laundry all over the field. I felt like there's a lot of penalties that game too, to where it's some disciplined football.
The old school Bama folks tell you this is the biggest rivalry they have. Bigger than Auburn. The older Bama folks, the younger Bama folks don't know that because they had that 15-year run and it sort of muted the rivalry. The older Bama folks, and I was brought up around this, the older ones, the ones that stack the VHS tapes in their basement and you watch them on rainy Saturdays, they tell you about Bama, Tennessee. And so you go to the game. I've been to the last 2 in Neyland, and they've won the last 2 in Neyland. And the cigar tradition after the game, and especially Tennessee getting over the hump finally, I think it's re-energized this rivalry. The Bama folks always take it seriously anyway, but now that they've lost 2 out of 3 to Tennessee, including last year, and they get them in their house at night, there's 1 or 2 games per year where you turn it on and you say, wow, this environment's jumping off the screen to me. And it's an SEC at night. I'm not surprised, but wow, this feels a little extra. That, I think, is how this game will feel Saturday. So much so that my wife formerly worked at Alabama in recruiting and marketing with Saban for a long time. We're doing LSU Vandy Saturday. I'm getting strong requests to make an off-the-record trip down there for the game Saturday night. So you may see me down there.
Are you going to fold?
Really?
Off the record.
Off the record.
Yeah, it's not a fall, don't lie. It's like a non-sanctioned attended game if I go.
Yeah.
Weather permitting, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, listen, we know this environment's going to jump off the screen. We're having the sickos we got in the shop. We got what, three Tennessee guys, 1 Bama guy.
Yeah, 5 Tennessee guys right now.
We'll be live. We will be live streaming this game on Saturday night. So tune into the Bussin With The Boys channel. We'll be live streaming this game.
It's an unbelievable vibe in the studio for those who can't see right now, because it's usually jovial. Everyone's smiling.
Yeah.
Everyone is frowned with their arms crossed, staring at us right now. It's wild.
It is
It's like the
tense in here.
DMV.
Yeah, it's like they're
crazy.
trying to stay composed, but you look at Garrett over there and his foot's just been going the whole time. Jack's just, Jack's just sitting over there like, yeah, keep hating on us.
Before we close the show out, if this line was at 9.5, would you lean towards Tennessee?
I would need 10.5 or more
Really?
to go Tennessee. Yeah, I got it right at 10.
That's what the
Model.
model.
Yeah, model.
And the model does love Michigan this week.
The model loves Michigan. Do you love Michigan?
I love Michigan.
You do love Michigan.
I love Michigan.
So you and the model love Michigan.
5.5.
I would go with Michigan. William, would you go with Michigan this weekend?
I'm not gonna bet that game. I thought about getting on Washington, but I watched the Washington games, and they struggle to get going early. I just think Michigan, they're gonna have to get it to where they're not playing from behind, because Washington could score points. I think the quarterback number 2, he's very good.
Yeah.
He'll be running around.
Yeah.
And I only jump on that just because it's like I hear, like when you hear, folks talk about Michigan, They talk about, they want to out physical you, make it, they're going to run the ball on them, they'll get them in the second half. They're known for defense and everything else. I just feel like that mindset is more so tied to the 2023 national championship team and not the product that they've kind of had on the field over the last couple of years. Just because, again, if they're going to actually be a contender in the Big Ten, look at, whether it's a college football playoff or a Big Ten title game, get in there, like it's going to be, they're going to have to take the governor off of fucking Bryce Underwood. He's going to have to show that he can just win through the air.
They got to take the governor off Bryce Underwood, but they've also got to do it in a way that's like, not just Bryce, you just throw the whole time. Like there needs to be creative play calling that takes
No, I agree.
with that.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not saying like, is Bryce good or not? Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying that. The creativity on offense.
I don't disagree with. I think 21, 2, and 3, the 3 years we made the playoffs, it was strong run game, but having a balance of pass as well, and a very, very strong defense that's going to suffocate you. I think it was Fleck who said like they're a boa constrictor, and that very much is it. You see pieces of that. Even last year we couldn't throw the ball at all from a defensive standpoint and running the football, and this year it's like it feels like we know we can pass a little bit, but how do you now implement the pass while still, putting the run? Like still having a strong run game, because it is built on explosives. It is built on, hey, we're gonna wear you down over and over again, and we're gonna keep popping these explosives on you. Do they feel that they can do that while they're still trying to throw the football as well? So it feels like there is a identity crisis to me a little bit on the opposite side of the ball. Mm-hmm. That's what. So all the things you're saying, I don't disagree.
Because it's like if you get in third and longer. It's almost like, I wonder what they're going to call here. Are they going to convert? Whereas if you go back,
like a bubble screen, we have your receivers blocking the perimeter, and if you're in 3rd and 9, it's like, do we have the horses right now, the speed and the elusiveness to get 9 yards? If you're just throwing a little bubble screen out there real quick, I personally would like to see pressing down the field, which we did a little bit in the second half against USC.
Right, yeah. The point I was making was in the identity that Michigan is assuming they have from the national championship team is you're rarely in 3rd and long situations. It's like it could be 3rd, 4 and below, and it's like, oh, they're going to find a way to convert here because they're just bigger, stronger, tougher, more physical, all this stuff. Now they get into 3rd and longer, and it's like the creativity offensively. It's almost like they don't know really how to convert these 3rd and longs, and then they're kind of fighting to get back, and it's not a team that can win from behind.
I agree.
So I'm personally staying away from the Washington because I just don't know what brand of Washington football we're going to. If they win, it's like their only loss right now is to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Their only loss is to Ohio State. To me, if they beat Michigan, it's like Ohio State, you can confirm that this is an elite football team because they handled them at Washington, held them to 6-9 points, something like that. And also, Washington deserves a lot more respect because their only loss right now would be against Ohio State because they're not even in the top 25.
Think about what could happen to Oregon this weekend. Oregon plays Rutgers. No one's paying attention to that game. Longest trip of the year for them, by the way. So Oregon plays USC later in the year, plays Washington later in the year. Not a lot of attention on those games at the moment. Over the span of a few hours Saturday, if you were to have the upsets, if USC were to go into South Bend and win, if Washington also beats Michigan, you've got 2 games all of a sudden on Oregon's schedule. USC and Washington, they play them back-to-back. Last 2 weeks of the regular season, they could end up being a nightmare for them. Just something to keep an eye on.
Something to keep an eye on. Feel good, fellas?
A lot of texts we flying those 2 weeks.
Love you, appreciate you, big cucks, tiny kisses. What is it? Oh, gosh,
yeah.
Sorry, we're having so much fun. We almost got away from the dogs of the week. Here's mine. Look, Willie C's dog of the week, Michigan State plus 27.5. This play is not like I think Michigan State's going to win. I think they have 0 shot winning this game. This is more of we have a lot of points out there, plus 27.5. Indiana coming off big wins. It's like, you're in the locker room, you're looking at, Michigan State, they'll probably get out of there winning by 24 points. So I'm taking Michigan State plus 27.5.
I got Pitt in a huge letdown spot against Syracuse. I love betting backup quarterbacks. I think there's low-key value on them. Syracuse plus 10.5 against Pitt.
I got Georgia Tech plus 1.5. I'm taking the money line versus Duke. I can't believe you didn't have Georgia Tech as your dog of the week.
I do like them. I just like Cuse more. I do like them, though.
Duke paid $1 million for the quarterback, $8 million for the quarterback. They lost to Illinois. I think Georgia Tech's for real in the ACC.
We interrupt this episode to bring you the Bussin With The Boys token. If you don't already know, the boys have a profit boost token available every college football Saturday. That's a profit boost on any college football Saturday bet. Just open up the FanDuel Sportsbook app this Saturday and look out for the Bussin With The Boys profit boost token.
Parlay?
Parlay. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I told JP I'd do this in the beginning of the week. I'm holding true to my word. I'm taking South Carolina versus Oklahoma.
You know what it is.
October.
You know what month it is.
October.
you get-
And
didn't
what an
you get
opportunity this week. Is Mateer playing? I don't think it matters. Yeah.
He's right, it doesn't
I don't think
matter.
it does. I don't think it matters. Injured. That dumb.
Didn't you get grokked?
I got grokked, yeah.
You got AI'd.
I got AI'd about the myth, according to Grok, not me, that is Cocktober. Grok actually thinks Cockvember should exist because Beamer's record is better in November. But I replied, you're AI, you don't know what you're talking about. Also, Cockvember does not roll off the tongue like Cocktober does. And South Carolina outright Saturday. So I think you're gonna win. I'm taking Mississippi State, by the way.
The Mississippi State.
I'll take Mississippi State plus the points against Florida. Florida, last gasp was last week. You can make a lot of money in college football betting a team the week after their last gasp when they're giving points to a very motivated team that needs a signature win. Mississippi State almost had it against Tennessee, and they now got a shot to go on the road or wherever this game. Yeah, I think it's on the road. I'm going to take Mississippi State plus the points. I think there's legitimate upset potential in that game.
Could you imagine?
Our boy.
Yeah.
Billy.
I might be rooting for chaos here, but Mizzou minus 1.5. They are at Auburn. Auburn, emotional loss. The touchdown they should have had on the goal line. You got Kirby Smart doing the clap. Like, big emotional spot for them. They're coming out of it. They're trying to get up for Missouri coming to town. Can't sleep on Mizzou. That's a tough football team. Right now, Mizzou is favored by 1.5. I like Mizzou at Auburn to cover. And that is our parlay.
So both of you guys' this is a chaos parlay other than mine.
Yes, it is.
The Bussin Parlay, the locker room parlay, South Carolina plus 5.5, Mizzou minus 1.5, and Mississippi State plus 8.5. That totals out to plus 614. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Again, make sure you are subscribed. Have a hell of a weekend. Let's win them all.